Hello everyone, welcome once again to another Power BI related tutorial by Team Slidescope. In this part, we are learning about creating city traffic violation risk and severity analysis dashboard. In this dashboard, you can see we have traffic fine amount for traffic violation. We have day of week, average fine amount by location or zone of that city, average fine amount by vehicle type, total fine amount by violation time, at which time total fine amount collected is more, then what type of violation type is giving more fine amount. And remember, this fine amount is actually helping us in measuring the risk or severity of violation. More fine amount means more severity. We have fine amount by number of offenders and number of repeat offenders. So everything that you are seeing here along with these filters, like for truck what is the entire data, whether the fine is more or less, or speeding what is this, at which particular time. So you can select a time and see that for offenders count 3 it is 757, which is higher than average. So this is something that you can do to interact with the data. So we will learn how to create this simple dashboard. This is part 1. Let's get started. So the data set that we are using in this project is city traffic violation data, where we have violation type, whether it was drunk driving, speeding, or signal jump, what kind of vehicle was it. There is location zone, whether it is in west, north, east, etc. Then there is day of week, amount of fine, number of offenders that were there. Then this is violation time, this is day of week and time, and repeat of offenders count. And if you want to understand the meaning of these columns, then there is violation type, vehicle type, obviously very easy to understand, area of the city where the violation happened. So this all information is from one city, day of week, fine amount, the monetary penalty imposed for violation. Higher fines may relate to more severe violations or repeat offenses. Number of offenders is people involved in single violation incident, for example, multiple passengers, riders, or drivers violating together. Violation time is there, and then repeat offenders count, that is number of people among those involved who have committed prior violations, and it helps assess risk and severity. The purpose is to analyze traffic patterns in a city and discover which violations are most common, which areas and times have higher risk, the impact of repeat offenders, etc. So now we can load this data set in our favorite data analysis tool and start analyzing the data. So we will open Power BI, and in Power BI we are going to load the data set. So we'll click on get data because the file is given as a CSV file. We will connect the file and load it here. You can see all the columns are properly in their required format. So we don't need to transform anything at this moment. So we will simply load the data here. And here we will simply rename the data as city traffic violation. Now what we can do, if you will go in table view, so in your table view we can see this fine amount is given, so we can give it a currency. Let's say the fine amount is in dollars, so we can give it as dollars. If it is in rupees, you can give it in rupees. Whatever is the currency, you can simply put that currency over here. So I'm just putting it as a rupee symbol. And now here we can click and see the data type is time. This is good, otherwise we would have changed it into time. Now we will start preparing our dashboard a little bit. Now, before starting our analysis, we can predict or we can pick up our target field. So if you want to predict risk or severity, you might use fine amount as your target. So which we are going to use in our first part of this data set. Which violations are most common, which areas and times have higher risk, the impact of repeated offenders, these kind of things can be used. So that's what we are going to do. So I will just simply copy the header here, use a notepad to remove any styling that might be there. So city traffic violation, and I will just use my heading as risk severity prediction or something like that. So risk severity analysis or prediction. Now we will use this heading in our dashboard. Here you can insert a text box and you can write your heading. We can align our heading like this. So we can align it here, make it bold, align it to center, use a font around 30 or 32 that can properly fit within our allotted height and width. And now we can select a particular color. So we are just going with some base colors right now. For our heading, we can go to effects and enable shadow here. Now we will insert a shape here. This shape will be used for putting some filters if we'll need them, and we'll put the shape here. Next thing what we can do, we can add some image over here representing traffic signals or something like that. So this is an image that I have created using, or I have downloaded it from Icon Finder. So you can put this image over here. Now we can go to style and choose some other color for it. So this is now, you can see the layout is now set up. Now we will start analyzing the data as per our target field. So because risk or severity analysis is being done, fine amount is that particular measure, and with the magnitude of this particular value we can find out its impact. If we want, we can prepare some KPIs like total fine amount collected or average fine amount, total number of offenders, total number of offenders who were repeat offenders, and we can find out this. So we'll just put some simple KPI numbers, although not necessary, but this helps us in when we will filter the data. So these type of numbers always help us. So here we will just add total fine amount, which is appearing as this value. Now here we will just go to call out value. I'll choose around 30 as the value. Font size, make it bold. Then for category label, I will choose another color. You can go to view and choose any other theme that you like. I'm just going with this default theme right now. In your case, it may be something else. So just go with your default theme and then you can choose the colors later. So this is sum of fine amount, general effects, shadow. So here we have the KPI visual ready. Now we will click on it, home tab, copy, paste, and then drag it like that. This is average. So here we will just drag average fine amount. Remember, as I always do, I create these 3-4 part series where in the first part I mostly do things without DAX. Then in the second part we take some other field as our target field and kind of alter the analytics. but in third part or in between them, we create a series with 10 or 15 DAX questions. So that's why these multi-part series like I did with hospital, HR, and agricultural solar panel analysis, those kind of solar panel sales analysis. So these kind of series are helping students in understanding whatever we can do on a data set. So that's why we are using this example right now. So here you can see sum of fine amount, average. So please follow this series. Please subscribe our channel so that you will receive the notification. Next, we can press Ctrl CV or use this option from here. And here we are going to analyze or put something else like total number of offenders. This is showing a sum of number of offenders. So we will just write number of offenders, which is also sufficient enough to describe. And this is number of repeat offenders. So if you have any other field in mind, you can use that as a KPI. Here we will just write total number of repeat offenders. So repeat offenders count, which is 292. You can find out percentage like out of number of offenders what is repeat offenders count. So you can divide them and you can find 292 by 612 and what is percentage of repeat offenders by number of offenders. This is something that we are going to do in our next part. We can also find out average fine amount per offender, average fine amount per repeat offender. This type of questions can be created, which I am going to create later. Now we have the violation type as our main field, our target field. So like a categorical field which we have to understand what is the average fine amount by day of week or sum of fine amount if we are considering this for severity. So if the average fine amount is more or sum of fine amount is more, that means on that particular day more violations are happening. And obviously we can count number of violations on that particular day, but on the basis of that value you will be able to find out the severity. So we will use a simple chart like a stack column chart right now, and I will use this much width, and here I am going to put the categorical value like day of week as on our x-axis and fine amount, and I will select average. So what happens is if we are not creating measures, then we have to change it every time. If we go to modeling tab and create a new table and just call it measure table or measures table, empty table it will be, and then whatever measures we have to create, we will put all those measures there so that we are not altering the data set too much. Here we are going to create measure and we can write total fine amount, and this will be sum of our city violation table fine amount. This will be the total fine amount. Now we will again right click here and create a new measure and write average fine amount, and we will use the average formula. So we will use the same value fine amount, and this will give us average fine amount. So this will be average fine amount by day of week. Here also we will go to general tab, effects, enable shadow. We have title, so I will choose the same color for title, make it bold, align it to center. For these bars we can choose the same color that we are using as our main color here, And if I want to show the numbers, I can show these numbers also. So you can see on Tuesdays average fine amount is less, and on Saturdays, mostly like because weekend starts, so we have fine amount. We may have more drunk people driving, rash driving, because of that speeding. So you can see on the basis of different days this fine amount varies. So if you are trying to create a model to predict the fine amount by these different categorical and numerical fields that we have, this will be important uh, field to consider. Next we will simply copy this and put it like that, and here we are going to use some other field. So that other field that I will select is, next is location zone, whether east, west, north, south, which zone is giving us more fine. So for that I'm going to use a simple stack bar chart, and instead of day of week I will just put location zone. You can see in that particular city, in south zone average fine amount is more, and in north zone it is less, west second is east. So this way you will be able to see which particular zone the severity of these violations is more. We'll copy this, and now I have to adjust three graphs. So let me adjust them. So I will adjust their values like this. Later I will make them each of same size, but this is good for me right now. Next is our vehicle type. So in which type of vehicle is actually causing more violations or violating more, and which has more risk severity. So we will remove location zone and add vehicle type here. Although this, with the help of bar chart only we can answer all these questions, but we can see usage of tree map here also. We can use a donut chart here also to understand it, and we can see average in case of a bike is more. This may be racing bikes or some other kind of bikes, but in bike the average is more. Then there is bus, then there is truck, and then there is car. So what I will do is, here this is legend, so I will just reposition the legend to bottom center. Now all the legend, all the field values are also visible, and data is also visible properly. Next we have the violation time. So up to this point, whatever fields that we used were all categorical fields. Vehicle type, location zone, obviously day of week is something we are going to consider later. Then we have violation time also. So for violation time I'm going to try line chart for now, and in the line chart on x-axis we always put the time value. So this violation time will go here, and then on y-axis we will select the average fine amount, or we can also use total fine amount in this case. Let's copy the same formatting from here and apply it here. So now you can see around 4 p.m. the total fine amount collected is more, and it is lowest at 3 a.m. So you can see the times, peak times when total fine amount is more, and those are the times when you will need more monitoring, and you know traffic signals or these should be working properly. Obviously they should be working properly all the time, but extra care must be given at these times. by RTO or traffic police. Now, if you want to learn data analytics from scratch, if you want to learn everything in detail, what is data analysis, what is data mining, merging, etc., from scratch, so you can learn data analytics at Slidescope. We provide online classes. Getting back to our analysis, when we have a sidebar like this, we use this sidebar for putting our filters. So for example, day of week, location, zone, vehicle type, the values that we are using here, these values can be used as filters. So we will use a slicer here. This slicer can be used to create a filter, and we will use it like that. Now in this slicer we will put day of week. So next thing, that because we have to put 4 or 5 filters here, so we will use slicer as a drop down. And now next thing, or one more thing that we can do, either we can go to general tab, effects, and increase some transparency here, so that we can see background as well as the color of this slicer, or we can remove the background and change its font size, font color, sorry. So here we will choose the font color as this, and we will select the header color also like this. So here these values will not be visible. So here we have the background. So we can go to values, background, and choose the same color, then it will be visible. So now once this setting is done, we can go to general tab, effects, visual border, select this color. These are all not important things, but you know they can give a better look and feel to your chart. Now you can copy and paste it several times to use whatever important filters you want to give your users. So for example, day of week is there, location, zone can be there, then actually everything can be there, but we are just giving most of the categorical fields like violation type. So if violation type is signal jump, average fine amount is 512, drunk driving 519, and speeding 498. So for drunk driving it is highest. So that's what is happening here. And we can make another copy and put the violation time also, because violation time is a numerical field. So you will have options like this. Here you can also go and try between. So when we'll select between, we will have more options here. That's why right now I'm just going with a vertical or a drop down list, but we can try that between thing also if we have more space here. So now our filters are ready. Don't forget to save your data set. This is part 1, risk severity. Now this is total fine by violation time. Then we also have, so we have done the vehicle type and we have the violation type. What type of violation is causing more fine, that we just checked. So for that we can use any chart type of chart, like say we are trying to use tree map here. In tree map it will create rectangular shapes. The area of those shapes will represent the numerical value, and in category we'll put violation type. So we are just learning usage of these different types. And here also I'll select total fine amount in values. So you can see in case of drunk driving, total fine amount is 37,000, speeding 32,000, and signal jump 31. So you can see number of offenders and repeat offenders. So these are given as 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So you can see number of offenders and repeat offenders. So we can try to replicate this chart here, and I will just make them of same size. Here, instead of location zone, x-axis, let's say we put number of offenders, and on x-axis we put average fine amount. So you can see in some cases when number of offenders are around 3, so average fine amount is more, and we can try to make some space here, and now I will try to put it here, and here we will now just replace number of offenders with repeat offenders. There are multiple ways of analyzing this thing, but this is average fine amount by repeat offenders count. So we can adjust the width, etc. Now let's fit. So this is a simple dashboard that we tried to create without using any DAX or complex DAX queries. But in the second part we will come with more questions, and we will take another field, or we will change our purpose of analysis a little bit. Till then, please try this example. The link to download this dataset will be given in description. There are a few more changes that we can make here. For example, we can go here and change it to area chart. Now you can go to view, and in your view you can choose any other theme, and those colors will automatically be applied to our data set. So if you like this particular theme, you can go with it. You can select this one, whatever theme you prefer, you can go with it. So that's why I mostly go with primary colors in the theme, and if needed, definitely not this one. When we switch, then we can now change. If you want to go with dark background, you just have to change these text. So whatever you feel is suitable for your analysis, you can just go with that color. So save your work, share your work with us, with everyone. If you have created this, share some links or screenshot links so that everyone can also see that. See you in the next part. Have a nice day, and don't forget to subscribe our channel to receive more video tutorials like this.